Week 17 weigh-in and a new injection site and something interesting that happened. Hi, I'm Dina. Welcome to my channel, Living Mosaic. And I wanted to talk to you today about something interesting that happened. So, most of you who follow me know that I only weigh in once a week. And that's on Friday. That's my injection day. So, I get up in the morning and prepare for that. So, last night, well, let me kind of backtrack. For the past week, I kind of felt like I was off. I don't really feel like I was losing anything. I don't know if you've felt that way before, but I just kind of felt like I wasn't losing. I felt like some of my days I was over my calorie deficit and kind of eating more than I had been. So I was kind of concerned about that. So my curiosity got the best of me, and I weighed myself last night. So mind you, this is a nighttime weigh-in. It's not my regular morning. And from last week, I was 244. And when I weighed myself last night, it was 246. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, I gained 2 pounds in a week? How is that possible? Because I was still doing all the things. Having my morning protein smoothie, eating my lunch that was really decent lunches, and then I don't think I went overboard on things. There was a couple days I was over my calorie deficit, and I had already kind of looked at these numbers yesterday to kind of see, like, or actually it was the day before. Yeah, I was doing some crunching of numbers to try to say, okay, well, I know that I have to try to maintain this much calories on Thursday to have the level deficit, right? So if I go over one day and I'm on track the next, I don't care. That's not a big deal. So I was just curious, like I kind of just felt off. So I wanted to crunch some numbers and figure out what was going on. So the limit that came up based upon all of my number crunching was I was only to have the maximum of 1,000 calories. That is not realistic. That's not going to happen. It's kind of low for me. That's not even like my minimum, and I don't even necessarily feel comfortable with that number. So, and we also had like a little kind of a Thanksgiving gathering at work. So we had, foods there, and it was kind of like a potluck type thing. And I guesstimated, because I really didn't, accurately, specifically track the food that I had at the lunch. I did my best guess, and for what I came up with, including my morning smoothie, that was like over 2,000 calories. So I really wasn't going to sweat it, but I still kind of felt like something was off. So like I said, I went and weighed myself last night, and I was up 2 pounds, and I was like, oh boy, that is horrible. So when I woke up this morning, I was kind of regretting getting on the scale, because I just didn't want to see that number again, right? So I decided to pull out some of my Goodwill haul clothes from my closet that I had purchased, and I wasn't really sure if they fit, because I really didn't even try them on. I'm just like, I'm going to give it a couple weeks. So I pulled out these pants, and I was trying them on, and I was excited to find out that 3 of the pants, they were kind of like a jean denim type pants, fit me nicely. 2 fit me really well, and 1 was there but slightly snug, and those were size 24. So I was really excited about that. So that kind of lifted my mood, and I was like, okay. I prepared my shot, and then took my shot, and this time I even did a new injection site. I did it in my left arm by myself, so I was able to I'm just like, I'm gonna do it. And I took and just plunged the needle in there and just scooped it in. And so that was a good thing for me, because it's something I had been wanting to do, but I guess I just wanted to feel more comfortable with the using of the syringe and that type of thing. Because when you're using the injector pens, they are so smooth and easy. Like, it's like you don't even have to think about it. So it kind of does everything for you. You just place it on the skin and hit the little button, boom. So with the syringe, you have to be a little bit more careful. So I kind of wanted to ease up to that. But now I did the arm, and we'll see if, next time I could do the other arm, because one side's always wonky, you know what I'm saying? So especially if you're right with one hand, but you don't with the other. And I'm slightly ambidextrous, but not completely. So I'm just like, oh, we'll see. So then I went in and I did my weigh-in. Funny thing, I had put the scale down there, and I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, well, this is upside down because the words were upside down. So I switched it around, and I stood on it, and I waited, and it does the little beep, beep, beep thing. And, but when I looked at the scale, it had already switched off by the time. So I was like, okay. And I went over there and I looked at the phone app, and it said I had lost 3 pounds. So I have another 3-pound loss this week. So I'm down to 241, which was amazing. I didn't expect that at all, because the way things were going and that weigh-in I did last night, and I was like kind of hopeful. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to lose 2 or more pounds overnight. So I'm wondering if that was an accurate weight that came on the scale last night. Did I have the scale upside down like I did this morning and didn't even realize it? Or is there some kind of scientific process where once you sleep and then you wake up the next morning, things have like, well, I know this to be a fact because I've noticed, like, swelling goes down and things like that. And maybe inflammation, like when you sleep. So I wanted to kind of do a little bit of research on that at some point and look into it to see, like, is this a thing? Now, I do know that inflammation and swelling go down because previously, before I was on a GLP-1, my ankles or my legs would kind of swell and be a little, puffy. But then when I woke up in the morning, they looked great. So I know that's true. So there is the swelling that goes down with that. And I've been sleeping really well too. So, and I also know, just from previous research, that when you sleep, your deep sleep is a real body restorative type of sleep. So I'm curious to maybe dive a little deeper into that with the sleeping and see how well it heals, specifically physiologically. That would be just interesting. I'm kind of curious about that, to see how that all pans out and works, because to go from 246 on the scale to 241, I either had the scale upside down again or something miraculous took place. But then again, let's be realistic. You have to take into account that I was 244 last week, and essentially I would have lost over the week. So I don't really know what that number was. It was just a fluke. And either way, I had a great loss this week. But even better, the pants fitting this morning was so exciting, because I've talked about going down in sizes since I began my GLP-1 journey in July, and I need winter clothes. So I can't wear jeans every day to work. Thursday is my Fridays, my work Friday, so technically I can wear jeans on Thursday, but during the week I do not wear jeans. I try to wear something a little bit nicer. So I got a plan this coming week on Thursday to wear one of my new pairs of jeans. Probably my, I think it's the Lee stretchy jeans. And they're kind of like a skinny type leg jean. I don't know, but I'm going to try those because they seem to be the best fitting at this point, because they have like a little give in them. So I'm going to try that Thursday. So that'll be fun to get into, but that's almost a week away. So, so those fit nicely. My Levi's fit nicely. And then some other pants that I got at Goodwill, but they come from a store called Maurice. I've never been to this Maurice store, but I have seen clothes from Maurice, so I don't even know. Like, it must be one of those stores you go to in the mall, and I'm not really a mall goer, so I don't know, but I'm thinking it's a store from a mall. But anyways, those fit nicely. So I got 2 blue jeans that fit, and then that green pair of Maurice pants. It's kind of a green denim, and so I look forward to putting those on. Like I said, they're tightly, a little bit snug, so I'm thinking I could try those next week. I could wear those to work, so I'm excited about that. And another pair of Goodwill pants that I I make myself laugh. Anyways, another pair of the Goodwill pants I bought were kind of a stretchy pair, and they're labeled at 2X. I could get those on, but they were a little bit tight and snug, so it's probably just because how they were made or where they were made. So I will probably hang on to those. In about a month they'll probably fit pretty good, so I'll hang on to those. And but yeah, all my other pants, some of my stretchy ones that I've been wearing to work, they're comfortable and they're baggy. And what I don't like about them, because I want to start transitioning, is like okay, it fits at the waist and the legs are okay, but like the crotch part kind of hangs low, so that's kind of weird, you know. But I'm just hanging in there with it and seeing how it goes. But anyways, that is my week. I've had a great time working out at the Y. Didn't do a whole lot of extra this week besides my rebounder at home. And I just got out of playing pickleball. I had a class at the Y, and I played 3 games of pickleball. I did that last weekend this week, and I'm 2 for 3. So I won 2 out of 3 games. So I guess I'm kind of getting my groove back a little bit. I think it helps when, you know, you have another player who's a pretty decent player, obviously. But that's always fun, because I'm kind of secretly competitive and I like to win. But I'm not a poor loser either. So I think that's good. And let me see what else. I think that's it. Anyways, I'm doing well, and I'm happy about my progress. I appreciate you all joining me on my journey for this GLP-1. I'm excited to see how some tides change with some of the new news I've heard in the works with the pricing. So that would be good. I am losing on a compounded Tirzepatide, and it would be really cool, this is just my opinion, that if compounded even went cheaper, now that they're doing the whole cheapening cost of the brand name. So I'm also at a point, and I'll update as this happens more and I get more information on it, but I'm also at the point where I can start reviewing my insurance through work to see about changing it. So that will also make a difference, because if I can get a better insurance that's not going to have such crazy deductibles, I've heard a lot of people have that issue, crazy deductibles that will actually pay for medication, I will go back to the branded. But I'm winning on the compounded, so I'm not really complaining, and it is what it is. But I would rather, of course, insurance take care of it. I mean, right? So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I appreciate you all joining me today on my journey. If you have any questions, ask me below. Tell me how you're doing on your progress. Is there anything, like some kind of weird things that happened to you this week that you were like questioning if you were going to lose or anything like that? I would love to hear it in the comments. Thank you for being a support to me. I love the feedback that I'm getting here, and as you know, for those of you who are subscribers, I also love sharing my feedback on your platforms as well. So like, share, thumbs up, and until then, remember, you are a living mosaic, and take care. Bye.